Welcome back to another episode of the Empowered Plates, Empowered Lives podcast. It's your healthy habits and lifestyle coach, Joe Varner. Y'all, I help those with endometriosis and polycystic ovary syndrome reduce chronic pain, eliminate stress, and minimize irregular or heavy periods. Y'all, we got Mr. Life in the Good Vibes studio today. But before we get into this episode, y'all already know what time it is. And if it's your first time tuning in to the Empowered Plates, Empowered Lives podcast, welcome. But guess what? It's time to vibe with me, y'all. Welcome to the Empowered Plates, Empowered Lives podcast. Yo, Mr. Highlight, welcome to the Good Vibes studio, baby.
Hey, what's good? What's good? What's going on, beautiful people? What's going on, JoJo?
Yeah, man, feeling good,
Yeah.
feeling hot, but most importantly, feeling vibrant. And I am grateful for you to hear today. Go ahead and introduce yourself and let the people know who you are.
Ooh, who am I? So I am George, aka Mr. Highlight Films. I'm a videographer, photographer, content creator, real estate investor. What else I do? Author. The list goes on. The list goes on. My brand is High Life, which stands for hustler, innovator, gifted, and honorable. And it's for those who high on love, high on impact, high on faith, and high on energy. So I'm all about abundance mindset. You feel me?
Abundance mindset.
Yes.
How important is your mindset, Mr. Highlight? How important is your mindset?
I mean, you do anything in life, the first thing they're gonna tell you, you gotta have your mind right. If your mind ain't right, nothing gonna work. So I mean, it all starts with you. You know what I mean? If you don't believe in you, if you believe you can, you right. If you believe you can't, you right. So it's all on you. So it got to start there. Without that, that's like the foundation for me.
How important is it for you to maintain your mindset?
Ooh, that mindset. I mean, it's like critically important because we are like our biggest critic. You gotta live with you for all your life. You know what I mean? you gotta talk. The person that you talk to the most is yourself. So it's whether you have good vibrations or low vibrations. It's imperative to your success. It's imperative to have people that be around you. Like people not attracted to low vibrations unless they're low vibration. So you also when we have a good mindset, you attract the right people and you repel the right people. So I feel like it's critically important. But it's also something that you like. It's not gonna always be perfect, It's like my brother gave me some advice one time, and I was asking. I was struggling with some parents and stuff, and I asked him for some advice. I just thought I wasn't doing a good enough job, and I said, man, how are you such a good dad? And he was like, you know what? Ain't no manual to this. I said everybody gonna have their. I mean, everybody gonna have their ups, their downs. It's just learning to struggle well and be okay. With everything not working, being okay, knowing that when you at a low, that highs is right around the corner, and when you at a high, be humble enough to know that the lows gonna be right around the corner, and be okay, like the even kill all the way through. So yeah.
Can you do me a favor, Mr. High Life? Because you're all about a high life mindset, a high mindset, high vibration. Before I ask you to tell us how you maintain your mindset, because you do a good job of that every single day, and you help multiple communities as well as your own community maintain that mindset. Before we get into that, take us through a time frame where your mindset wasn't good at all and you were low. What did that look like, and how did you make that shift? How did you come back to elevate your mindset?
That's a good question. Let me think. I had a lot of low moments.
Come on, be real.
Low moments. Let me see. Losing a child. I lost my youngest daughter. She passed away from complications from cerebral palsy. Had a couple seizures, and she could never recoup. And that put me in like a depressed mode. I was going through a bad marriage at the time, plus the lose child. It was just a lot, and I just had to talk to myself. I had to be around people that luckily I was around good people that were they were doing good in their life, you know what I mean? So it wasn't like I was around the old crowd that I used to be around when I was out in the streets doing all the wrong things. And I was high life on the other side of the track. High life meant something different then. So, but and it was just you know, when you lose someone so close to you, it's like you have that come to Jesus. I call it a come to Jesus moment. It's like it's either now or never type of deal. I actually, when I first got custody of my daughter, I got custody of her probably like a year before she passed away. Me and her mom weren't together. I was in the streets. I was at the time I was selling weed. So if anybody want to know, I was selling weed. So that's why I said high life. And I just wasn't. I wasn't. I wasn't in the right headspace. I was just hanging around with the wrong crowd, doing the wrong things, thinking it's the right thing because I'm just out here hustling, just trying to feed my children. And, you know how we said. But going through that time, it made me like reevaluate my life and reevaluate what was really important and why I really was taking those chances that I was taking. And before my daughter passed, when I got custody of her, I ended up quitting my job because I couldn't work the job and take care of her because, like I said, she had cerebral palsy, so she had to go to different like physical therapy. She had to go to speech therapy, different types of things, and I had to be really involved in it. And her mom had just passed. My two daughters, their mom had passed, so I had to get. Well, I didn't get custody. I had to fight for custody of my kids. And for that to happen, I had to get my stuff together. And I was going through some times with the current relationship I was in, but I had to put on the happy face, like everything's okay, just to get custody of them. And I ended up getting custody, and then probably like, well, right before I got custody, actually, this is the crazy part. Right before I got custody, she passed away. And then as soon as I went back to court again, they ended up giving me custody of both of them. I'm like, okay, thanks a lot. But at least I got it. But that point, I was like, I got to make some changes. I got to go up. Before she passed, I was like, I quit my job, so I went all in on myself. I was filming, I was taking pictures, I was doing all type of stuff, whatever I had to do to take care of my family and make sure I could get custody of her and show them that I'm a good father. I got everything under control. There's not no chaos. But during those times, I had to work on my faith. I had to work on my mental. I talked good. I had to talk good to myself. I started doing affirmations. I started reading more. I just started. Sometimes you have to go to them dark places. They say it that when you're in a dark place, it's not that you lost. It's like you get implanted, like a seed getting planted. It get dark and you look around and you don't see nothing and everything looks like it's you at the bottom. And that was something that I needed and I had to go through that. And I'm a big fan of everything happens for a reason. So that was something that I had to go through. It hurt like heck, and it didn't feel good while I was going through it. But now I'm a better person because of it. My empathy is like at 100. I could feel people pain. I'm very high on energy now. I'm family oriented. Like, it was just that shift and different things happened in my life that I had to, man up. I call it manning up. I had to put my big boy pants on and say, hey, enough is enough. No more selling weed, no more doing crazy stuff. Like you gotta either buckle down or you just gotta let them kids go. You know what I'm saying? That was something that I didn't want to, that wasn't even an option for me. So I was like, I quit everything cold turkey like immediately. And I was like, I'm finna fix it. And I think sometimes you just have to go through some stuff to make you appreciate, the things that you do have. Um, it was times where I just didn't get no time with my daughter because I was out in the streets, and I didn't know that she was going to pass at an early age. I just thought she was going to see me pass first. I'm supposed to, we all think that the parents going to pass first, and that didn't happen. And that was just something that really like shook my world. I just recently not got over, but I really recently got to a point where I could deal with it, where I don't like me having a conversation with you right now about it and not crying. You know what I'm saying? That's a win for me because it to be times where I couldn't even talk about it, and I couldn't even see another kid with cerebral palsy. I just break down. I was like, oh. So that was just definitely one of my biggest moments in my life where I say, you know what, I'm finna get it together. And ever since then, my life has changed for the better. All I can see is I'm not exactly where I want to be right now, but I'm definitely not where I used to be. So yeah.
I love that. And I appreciate your vulnerability, man. And you call it a win and I call it strength. And that's the big thing for me on the Empire Plates Paralyzed podcast is having people share their journey of strength. And that story right there, your truth. I don't even like to call it a story, but your truth is purposeful. And I kind of want to take this moment, Mr. High Life, just for you to speak to the fathers, because like you said, you thought you had more time and you were doing everything else, but really showing up in full throttle mode with all high intensity and vibrations for fatherhood and for your children. Speak to the fathers right now that might be on that borderline or might not necessarily have that high abundance mindset to say, you know what, I shouldn't play with fatherhood. I should do everything I can. Speak to them real quick on that, because I think that's going to help push their mindset and cause a shift for them.
Shoot, that's a good one too. Like, the first thing I would say, if I was talking to someone that's like on the border, I would just say, first you gotta, like you said, the first question you asked me was how important is mindset. First, you got to get yourself together, because the old saying, you can't pour from an empty glass. So if you out here stressing, looking over your shoulder, I remember there was a time when I was wanted. I was wanted for a whole year, y'all. That was the most stressful time for violating probation. That was the most stressful time of my life. And it was just um it was something like, that's not the life that you want to live. Who wants to be like that? Like, how can you take your kids to the park or go out in public? And I used to go to church on Sundays, and I used to be so scared because I was wanted. And if I get pulled over for anything, I'm out of here. And I was facing, like, I think the judge told me I was facing like 13 years for I got caught with some weed, and I got caught with like 3 pounds, and it was looking dark for your boy. And I could have been out of here. And just like that, luckily, when I well, long story short, I ended up turning myself in. And when I turned myself in, the judge asked me, he said, "Why did you turn yourself in?" Because it had been a year. I was ghost for a year. And he said, "Well, why did you turn yourself in?" Luckily, this is one of the worst judges in Tampa. Luckily, he had a 3-day weekend. He was in a good mood. He was vibing. I don't know why, and I happened to be the last person in the courtroom. I was there from the beginning, but my name started with a V, but I wasn't. It was people with last name was W, last name was somebody had a Y, young blood or something. Everybody went before me. I was the last one. So the judge asked me, why'd you turn yourself in? I said, well, he said, why did you run? I said, well, at the time, my baby mother, she was sick at the time. She had kidney dialysis and stuff going on. So I was pretty much taking care of the kids. And, he said, so why did you turn yourself in? I said, well, she's doing better now. And I just thought that this would be the right time for me to go ahead and get this over with. You know what I mean? And then, he was like, okay. He said, well, you turned yourself in. I'll give you a point for that. He said, you know what? I'm in the good. He said, are you clean? I said, yes, sir. Yes, sir. And he said, I'm feeling good. I get good energy from you. He said, I'm going to go ahead and release you, and we're going to throw out all the probation, and you good. Just don't let me see you again. And the last thing I told him, I said, can I speak? I had a public defender. That let you know I was going. I ain't have no hope. I don't know how this happened. It had to be God, but God. But and I asked my public defender. I said, can I say something? And he was like, nah, shut up. And then the judge heard him. He was like, no, let him speak. I said, Judge, I know you hear this all the time, but you will never see me again. And he was like, you know what? You're right. I do hear that all the time. Now get out of my courtroom. And ever since then, that was like 2010. I haven't been in trouble ever since. I wouldn't even think about thinking of nothing to get rid of my freedom. So it's like, that was a lesson. Like, I was looking at 13 years, you know what I mean? Like, who wants to go be in jail with a whole bunch of men, and they don't, like, who got time for that? Ain't nobody got time for that. And when you out here playing in these streets, you can have all the greatest intentions in the world, but you can just get caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. I had my god brother, actually, when I first moved up to Jacksonville. I hadn't seen him in years. I ended up linking up with him, and we got to chill for a little bit. I saw his kids, he saw my kids. He good dude. He don't get in no trouble. He don't mess with nobody. Probably a couple months after I moved here, he got killed just sitting in the car with somebody who was looking for the guy he was sitting in the car with. He ain't have no bad intentions. He was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and his life got taken. Like, who wants to have a life like that? Who wants to go out like that? You know what I'm saying? Leaving your kids behind, not knowing who their dad is. Like, I would never want. Sometimes I even say I kind of I have one of my biggest things that I don't want to happen is to me to leave my kids uninformed, like out here just winging it in this world, because it's like this world crazy enough as it is. So dads, you like super important, like it's pivotal. Like I wrote a book, Dads Matter More, because you guys are like these super pivotal in these kids' lives, and even in the mom's lives. They don't want, some of them don't want to admit it, but when you have that team, that community of people on the same page, like them kids gonna win. But when it's like mama over here, daddy over there, daddy in the streets, mama, like that's not in an environment that's a winning environment for a kid. That's not no abundance of lifestyle. That, you know what I mean? Like, so it's just, I would just say like, just do your best to get your mind together first. And once you get your mind together and you have that abundance mindset, you ain't gonna have no choice but to do right by your kids. Even if you're not in a relationship with the mom or y'all are not together, it's still gonna be nothing but love, nothing but kindness and respect, and the kids gonna see that. Cause I mean, they want to be just like you. They look just like you, so they want to be just like you. So if you're putting out good energy, like I could be at my lowest, and my kids know I'm always have a smile on my face. But I learned that from my youngest daughter. She had cerebral palsy, but she was always smiling. Even if it was kind of crazy, kind of scary. Even when she was crying, she was smiling like, ah. so it's like life is too short for to lose out on the time that you get with your kids, and like you're the biggest influence. So it's like if you don't care, that's a whole nother subject. But if you actually care about a life that you brought into this world, like you got to get yourself together. And once you do that, I feel like the chips they're gonna eventually. I ain't saying that it's gonna be like an overnight thing and it just happens just because you got your life together that everything's gonna work for you. Like you're gonna have some ups and some downs, and you just have to be able to. You'll be able to manage them well, better when you have yourself together.
So you mentioned being in a dark space, and you had really good people surrounding you. So it allowed you to lean more in that direction of staying positive, staying optimistic, doing good things, and not kind of reverting back to familiarity and the comfort. You just told them how important it is for their mindset to shift. Now, how did you know I'm leaving the streets? I got to do better. How did you know it was in photography, videography? How do they find that passion? How do they find that new hustle? As you say, the H stands for in High Life. How do they find that new hustle that is going to allow them to really get on a productive entrepreneurship pathway that takes them from the streets?
I would say until you find it, keep looking. That would be my biggest advice. I can't tell you when you're gonna find it, how you're gonna keep looking. If you keep looking, you're gonna find exactly what you're looking for. You ask, maybe I don't know what you believe in, or what people's beliefs are, but if you believe in a higher power and you just you just tell them what you want and you focus on that, you're gonna get it. But if you focus on all the negative, what I'm saying, that's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get double that. You know what I mean? So I would just say, like, my passion with photography, is funny because I used to be in the streets. I used to be a rapper. I was in the music and all that good stuff. But the moment I picked up a camera, it was like I knew it. I could just feel it in my bone. I was like, forget that rap. I'll record you. I'll get behind the camera. I'll record you all day long. It was just something about it that it felt so good. You know what I mean? I was like, should I do this for free? Oh, you'll pay me? Oh yeah, give me that. Let me get that. Okay, all right, okay. But but I saw it was something that I always been very creative. I wanted to be an architect growing up, so I big in school, So it was like, but once I picked up that camera, it was like I knew it. I can't even really explain it. It was like you'll know because I don't look for nothing else. Whenever I do a lot of stuff. I invest in real estate. I do some stocks and some crypto, and I could do graphic design and all that great stuff. But when I pick up that camera, oh, you can't touch me. And I feel like it's just a good feeling that you get, and just knowing that this is something I could do for the rest of my life. I could be an old man, 70, 80 years old with a camera sitting in. I could be sitting in a wheelchair holding that camera if I got to. You know what I'm saying? Put that thing on a tripod and hold it up. But now I just feel like you'll know. But until then, just keep looking. You know what I mean? And just stay positive and be okay with the journey. Enjoy it. You only get one life, so you better enjoy this thing. You know what I mean?
So what I heard was be aware of what you're enjoying, what you're liking, what you love about life, outside of the things that you're already doing. So let's say in the streets, like it could be cooking, it could be creating something with your hands, it could be building something. But you knew as soon as you picked up the camera, you fell in love with that. And so you might have a lot of different skill sets, but the skill that you use that make you just feel like I can do this thing for free because I'm just so great at it or I just love it so much, that is the direction you need to lean more into with figuring out your creativity. That's what I was hearing out of that. I love it. So let's get into this thing,
Okay.
Mr. Highlife. You talking about videography, right? So with this videography, you were telling me before you ain't like the way you was walking, hearing yourself breathe, walking through houses, recording, recording video walkthroughs, and you were listening to the videos, and you was like, I don't like the way I sound.
Yeah.
How has your journey to better health impacted your work in videography and content creation, and what even got you to a point where you started valuing and prioritizing your health?
Yeah, so the thing you're talking about is like later on in my videographer career, I was getting a little big, I was getting comfortable. I was in a depressed state, so eating was, I guess, and then I was eating late at night because I stayed up late night editing, and them late nights, you're in the studio, smoking, and you know how it goes. I mean, I don't know if you know how it goes, but you feel me. Somebody out there in the audience, they feel me. Y'all understand what I'm saying? And I got to a not a good weight, and I started doing so I moved from Tampa right before the pandemic. I moved from Tampa to Jacksonville, and when I was in Tampa, I was shooting I was shooting everything. I was doing music videos, I was doing concerts, I was doing a meeting. I was doing all types of stuff with the camera. And then when I moved to Jacksonville, pandemic hit. I said I had to make a pivot, so I started doing real estate photography. And so I'm doing real estate photography, 3D scans, stuff like that. And so I had to do like a video, like walkthroughs of the houses and different things for some of the investors that I was getting gigs from. And I'm like, I get the video, I shoot the video, then I get the video, and while I'm uploading, I'm listening to it. I'm like, hold on, what's that? It sounds like doggone Jason on the phone, Jason Voorhees. I'm like, whoa, big boy, like what you got going on? So that was something I was like, oh nah, man, I can't even, because usually I'll just shoot the video if it was not like a listing photo type of video. It was like people who were about to buy a house, they're about to do some rehab on. I'll go out there and walk through the house and look at all the stuff and get them a video. I had to take the whole sound off because I'm not gonna send it to nobody and they hear me all breathing all that. I'm like, something got to shake. And so what happened was I ended up going to the doctor and found out that I was like right on the brink of having sleep apnea. So the doctor gave me two options. She said that I can either get on the breathing machine for the rest of my life, sleep at night with your breathing machine on so you don't go to sleep and don't wake up, or you just start working out more. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna take this test and see what's up. So I had to take the little the sleep study test where they put the machine on you. They got it all over my face like this, and I got to lay in the bed. I can't roll over. I gotta lay in the bed like I'm in a casket or something. You can't even move. And I lasted. The test was supposed to be overnight. I was in there about a good 30 minutes. And I was like, you know what? I'm good. I can't do this. So I even went to sleep for like a good, probably like I probably went to sleep for about a good 5 minutes. I was tired too because I knew I had to do a sleep study. So I was tired. I went to sleep about 5 minutes. Then I woke up and I was like, oh, hey, I can't do this. So I ended up canceling that, and I had to meet up with the doctor again. And I said, you know what? I'm just gonna start working out. That day that I took the test, the next day I was out walking. I was big. I was 345 pounds. So I just said, you know what? First thing I do, I'm just gonna start walking. If I don't know nothing else, I know I got to get these feet moving. So I just started walking. It was just doing a mile. It took me a while. It took me a while to get that first mile out of the way. And I just consistently just started doing that. And then I started losing weight. I could start seeing, it was like way. It was just I just needed to move. I wasn't moving enough, and I mean it was the pandemic going on. I was just doing my videography thing, so I ain't really have to shoot nobody. I just at the house editing, creating stuff, comfortable. And I was like, you know what? I need to make some changes. So I made some changes. Right now, I ended up losing what was it, 80 pounds. My goal was 100 pounds, but I didn't get to my goal yet. I'm still on that journey. And I just knew that if I wanted to see my kids, if I want to see my kids grow up and get older, I might have to take care of myself. Like the advice I gave to the fathers, I had to take my own advice. I had to, get myself together first. And also my daughter's, she was a little heavy set as well. And I was like, you know what, I'm not finna just, that's the example she saw. If I'm eating, she eat, and I was like, you know what, for me to help her, I got to help myself. And I'm not going to be out like, come on, Leah, let's go walking up. Where you going? Dad, where you going? Oh, I'm finna go for a walk. You wanna come? No? All right, I'll be back. And if you see me doing that all the time, sooner or later you want to come. So she ended up coming with me walking. And then another thing I would do, if I was consistent throughout the week and I worked out through the week, I would go to the beach on the weekends. That would be my reward to myself. I should go to the beach, and I ended up. I love the beach. I'm a Pisces. I love the water. Like that's my peace. So I'm talking about like 5 a.m. The sun ain't out, and it's just me and the moon and the beach. And that was my reward, and that was something I would tell people, like especially people that are going on your weight journey, like reward yourself. If that's something that you like, go do that. But make it so it's a physical activity. So I was walking 6 miles on the beach, 3 miles one way, then I turn around and come back. And that was just my me time. That was my pouring to myself. I listened to audiobooks, or I listened to some Sade, just a whole vibe. Like I also learned a fun thing while I was out at the beach, was how powerful we are, as far as like how you can see in the dark. So the first time I went out to the beach, I was like, I'm gonna need a flashlight. I got my phone, got my light. I'm gonna, and I go out there, and before I start, I just say a prayer. So I just stopped right when I got to the beach, and I was like, okay, I closed my eyes, and I just said, I was probably praying for about a good 30, 45 seconds, and then I opened my eyes, and it was clear. I could see everything. It was like the sun was out. And I was like, oh, okay, so your eyes adjust. That is right. Your eyes do adjust. Oh, so this is my first time on the beach, and I'm walking, running a little bit. I run a little bit, walk a little bit, run a little bit, walk a little bit, and then I think I had to change. The song did something, so I'm about to change the song. So I looked down at my phone, and when I looked down at my phone, and then I looked back up, I couldn't see nothing. I'm like, oh God. So I learned that when it's just you and the moon, that's all you need. Once you put that bright light in your face, now your eyes are adjusted to that, and now you can't see that. So that was like a quick little lesson for anyone that didn't know. But it's very important. That was a very important time in my life, and one of my favorite quotes is, "Do something today that your future self will thank you for." And I think my former self, my 345-pound self, my almost sleep apnea having self, for taking that first walk the next day and saying, I ain't going out like this. So that was something that was, very important to me. And from that moment on, I was just doing my best to stay active. I was working out. I was doing HIIT training. I was going out of my way actually to go to the gym. Like it got to a point where before I tell you this part about the story going to the beach, I was going to Planet Fitness. It got to a point where when I go a certain way, it was like my body, like how you had a muscle memory. I was like almost about to turn the car on the road to go to the gym every day, and I'm not like I'm going this way, but the gym is that way. But the muscle memory was like, oh, I ain't going to the gym. So it was something that it was like a habit that I had formed. You know what I mean? And then from that, I got invited to this place called F45, and it's a gym where you go work out for 45 minutes. But when I tell you, you work from the time you go in to the time you come out, and you come out that thing like you just got out the pool. Like it was real intense. And so that was something that I actually drove. It was a 5 o'clock in the morning class. I actually had to get up at 4 o'clock, and be out of the house by 4:20, because if not, I'd be late, because it was a 45-minute drive to the gym, which is by the beach. So what I was doing was, I know I love the beach. The person that invited me to the gym was somebody that was in the real estate industry that I was doing my best to be in. The beach is like where the rich folks stay in Jacksonville. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna put myself in a different environment. I ain't gonna be. I could easily went on to this gym on my side of town. I was like, nope, I'm gonna get up early. So that's the different habit that I'm building, and I'm gonna go somewhere where I'm in an environment with some high achievers, some high value people that's, doing some things way bigger than me, got houses way bigger than me, and that was something that I couldn't unsee. And I made so many great relationships, like met new people, and that just took my health journey. I made it fun for myself. It wasn't like I'm gonna work out and I'm just gonna kill myself to work out, and I'm gonna be miserable the whole time. And oh my God, I gotta go to the gym. I used to be happy, like I get to go to the gym. Oh yeah, tomorrow. Tomorrow leg day. Oh yeah, let's go. I made it fun, because if you don't make life fun, like it's like, why even do it? If it's gonna be miserable to you, if going on a diet and eating healthy is miserable to you, why even do it? Like you only get one life. I'm not finna. If I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna go out on my terms. You know what I mean? Not saying that you shouldn't be healthy, but if I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna go out on my terms. And my term was, I want to be healthy so I can live. I want to be an old man, seeing my kids graduate, seeing my kids getting married and living life, being successful, and seeing the influence that I had on them, and seeing how they taking it to the next level, and then seeing whatever I did. So
I love that. One, I love the fact that you gave yourself like a treat, like you treated yourself, you rewarded yourself, and in that reward was still self-care and self-love. It wasn't, oh, I've been moving, I lost this weight, now let me go get this fried chicken. Like, no, it was like, let me go to one of my favorite places that I like to work out, that's a little further away, just to truly enjoy what I'm doing, So I love that aspect of it. I also love that you started changing your workouts to now you're getting around high achievers. Now it's almost like a networking thing while you're taking care of yourself. And who wouldn't want to, collaborate with people that they already see are taking care of themselves and appreciate and value themselves? Like, it's on a whole deeper level when building those types of relationships. So I like that aspect too. But then you talked about, going in for 45 minutes, coming out like you just got out of a swimming pool. How did the F45 workouts vibe feel versus the walking? What was the different energy you felt after the workouts? Did you feel the same after you did both of them, or was one more, mentally driven? Like, explain to me how you felt after that workout, that movement, the form of taking a mindful walk or moving by walking, and then moving by going hardcore high intensity.
I'm getting chills. While you were talking about it, I'm over here getting chills. That tells you how I felt after the workout. Like, the workout sucked while you're going through. It's fun. They got the music going. You see people. The thing about it is, when you see somebody next to you and they're huffing and puffing, but they're still going and going, you're like, well, shoot, I ain't finna let them just keep going. I'm gonna be over here. Yeah. So it's like when new people used to come and you see them about to throw up, you're like, oh, there goes somebody about to throw up. Uh-oh, good luck. I'm like, I ain't gonna throw up. So it's just, I was more energized. It was like that HIIT training. When I tell you, that changed my life, because my recovery, like running, you get tired after you run some, you get tired, right? With F45, if you only had like 15-second breaks, 20-second breaks, 30 if you're lucky, and that's all I needed. Working, and then you get that little break, and you go right back at it. And my recovery time for anything that I did, like my running was better. I would run more, than I would walk. Walking is just something that I just like to move. I like to get my steps. I call it getting my steps in for the day. And walking is cool, and it's just a start. It's like something, and even a start. You could just, if that's where you want to just leave it at, you can just leave it at walking. That's all you really need to do. A lot of my people are saying that's all you need to do is just walk. I know some people that's in great shape, and all they do is walk. I seen today I was running the bridge with some of my friends, and it was a 67-year-old man, and he was walking, he was getting it, and he was in great shape. And he said that's all he does is walk. He has a shake a day, and he was telling us all his recipes and all this good stuff. And I'm like, well, shoot, he knows something, You know
That's
what
a
I mean?
good point to stop at right there. You got to shake today. If you haven't grabbed your anti-inflammatory guide, click the link in the description of this video and get your anti-inflammatory guide, because it has at least 5 smoothie and juice recipes to go ahead and get your fruits and your vegetables on in, because they are definitely essential and they're also energizing. So get your anti-inflammatory guide, help yourself reduce the chronic pain, eliminate the stress, minimize those irregular periods, but most importantly, get in your nutrients, because you deserve to get your nutrients in. So click the link and get your anti-inflammatory guide. So, Mr. Highlight, how do you feel like your discipline, former football player of Bethune-Cookman, how do you feel like your discipline played a role in you saying, you know what, I'm not about to take this sleep apnea test no more. I'm just going to get out here and start walking. How did your discipline play in your fitness and in your health journey?
I just remember who I was. I just remember that, I've been an athlete all my life, and I would never been this big in my life. And, if it took me this long to get big, I'm gonna give myself some grace to get back to where I was at. I wasn't finna say, oh, I gotta lose 50 pounds in 50 days or 30 days and all that crazy stuff. Like, it took you about 10, 12 years to get this big. So I'm gonna give you some, I ain't gonna say it's gonna take me that long, but I'm gonna give you some grace to, I gave myself grace, you know what I mean? Like, as long as I'm moving, my thing is, as long as you're doing something to get better every day, even if it's reading a book. Maybe I don't feel like walking today. Maybe I'm just gonna read. You exercising your mind. You know what I'm saying? So you're doing something. You're not just sitting there playing the game, watching TV, just scrolling on social media. You're doing something. So I would say, just knowing where I came from and knowing I have that history of being an athlete, it wasn't nothing for. I'm very competitive, so it was nothing for me to say, all right, it took me an hour to walk a mile. All right, let me see if I can finish it faster this time. And then this time, I'll see if I can, instead of walking the whole time, I'm gonna walk a lap and run a lap. Or matter of fact, not even that. I used to run the straight. No, walk the straightaway and run around the curve, and then walk the straightaway and run around the curve. And then I got to a point where I would run around one time, then I walk one time, and then it got to a point where I said, I'm ready to hurry and get done. Let me run around 2 times, and then let me walk one time, and then run the last one. And then it got to a point where I say, you know what, I'm gonna see if I can run a whole mile before I stop. And I did it on the treadmill before I did it on the track. I'm like, let me just run and see how long it takes me to run a mile. And it was just challenge. I love challenges. I done did the 75 hard challenge 2 times, completed it, and I just love challenging myself. I'm actually in a challenge right now with our good friend Casey, the coach, and we're doing the push-up challenge, and that's something that I just love, a challenge, and that comes from being disciplined in different sports. Like, we like challenges. We like, call me out, coach. Tell me why I'm messing up so I can go ahead and show you how I get down. And you know what I'm saying? So that was something that I would say that I I like to move. And when I want to do something, if I want to race my son or do something, I want to be able to do it right then. I don't want to be like, all right, give me a break. Hold on, son. I don't want to do all that. You know what I mean? I want to just say, hey, I want my feet to move as fast as my mind do. So that discipline thing, I would say, was something that was definitely, it helped me. I ain't gonna say that I'm super disciplined and I don't have my days when I be like, nah, I ain't getting up, bro. Nah, not today. I do. But I give myself grace and I'm like, you know what? Okay, you got your day off. Now let's get back to it. Let's get on it. Cause the thing about it was, um, I was telling my girl the other day, we were running, and she dropped her phone, and we running together, and she dropped her phone. She was in front of me. She's the athlete, so she was in front of me. I was catching up to her, and she dropped her phone. So when she dropped her phone, I stopped to grab it, but she stopped to grab it. And when I stopped, and the finish line was right there, I was like, damn, it take a lot of energy to stop. It take more energy to stop than to just keep going. So I said, that was like a light bulb went off. And I was like, you know what? Next time I ain't stopping. I'm just gonna keep on going because you're gonna catch me anyways. Nah, but it was just like, that was like a life lesson that immediately I'm always looking for. When the universe speaks, I just shut the heck up. And when I see stuff, I'm like, it took more energy to stop than to keep going, to keep going. So why not just keep going? So that means just don't never give up. Don't never stop. You know what I mean? If I ain't learned nothing from that, from her dropping the phone, was don't give up, don't stop. But I was tired. We was coming to the finish line. And, and she dropped the phone. And I was like, oh, and I stopped real quick. And then I'm like, okay. And I give her the phone. And I was like, you ready? Oh, shoot. Whew, it was like cranking up a car.
I got you. And that makes sense. Like, because when I used to walk, I used to like walk the sidewalk. But then when it's time to cross the street, I would jog across the street. Like I would pick the moments where I would kind of pick up the pace to do it that way. And then it just, sometimes it might be the change of the song I'm listening to. So I get you on over time, building up the intensity. But first, just walking the mile. Just, and if it's not even walking a mile, just walk 10 minutes. Then walk 20 minutes. But like you said, just keep going. Like it takes more energy to stop than it does just to keep going. So I love that. And I love that you talked about the discipline. But then what I really enjoy, and you ain't say do this every day. You know, you talk about if it's reading a book, you know, you're still working your mind. You're still moving your mind. So you've written plenty of books. High Life, 8 Keys to Living an Abundant Life, and Dad's Matter More. How do the principles? Huh?
I like how you said that. You've written plenty of books. I like
You
that.
and did and have. You an author on here, High Life, Abundance. You out here writing. You're a full author, right? So you did that. So how do the principles of the High Life philosophy align with your health journey and your own personal growth?
Mm. Can't be a hustler if you're always tired.
Ooh,
Man.
come on, Mr. Say it one more time.
You can't be a hustler if you're always tired. That's
Mm,
for sure. The
mm.
world always moving. So if you take some days off, you best believe the world ain't gonna be like, oh y'all hold up. Mr. Highlight taking a break. Y'all hold up real quick. Nah, the stock market gonna keep. It's gonna open up every day. You know, the world gonna keep moving. Time don't stop for nobody. So that's one thing. Uh, Innovator, you can't. How can you even think about something good if your health ain't right? Like I don't understand. I can't even fathom how I would come up with great ideas to even come up with High Life. Like it took me some time to like literally sit there. Like, how can I take something that somebody would think would be negative and turn it to something positive? You should see. I used to get excited when I had to explain what High Life meant. Like I used to go into my kids' school and they'd be like, High Life. I'd be like, oh, let me tell you. So High Life means, and so and then when they hear it, they be like, oh, okay. So it's very pivotal, and being honorable. I gotta honor. This is God's temple, so I gotta honor what He gave me, and the life that I have. Like you only get one, like I said. So life can be long, but only if you know how to live it. So, and I mean, like, I'm high on energy. I'm high on faith because I believe in what I got on going on. You know what I mean? And without enough energy and without health, I can't leave no impact. I can't leave no impact because they're gonna be like, oh, that's the old fat coach or the fat guy, low life. I don't know. He high on calories. I don't know. He high on food intake. No, but everything. It was like I really sat down and I put some thought into what High Life truly mean. And I said, if I'm gonna say something, what something mean, I got to live that like that. So when I was writing the book, it wasn't that I was writing the book just to write a book. I was talking to myself. I read my book all the time to give myself a friendly reminder that High Life is a state of mind. It's a mindset about abundance. Like abundance is all around us, but you just have to tap into it. You got to be woke. You can't be always tired, always high on the other side of the fence. You can't be always with the negative energy people that drain your energy, people gossiping and people with all this negative. Like you can't be on that. Because if that, you're not high life, you low life actually. You mid life, you somewhere in the mids, you know what I'm saying? And so that was something like it helped. I mean, it was cool writing my first book, but it was just the fact that I was talking to myself and I knew that somebody was gonna feel it. Like somebody was gonna see that hustler and be like, well, shoot, I'm a hustler. Or somebody might say, "Oh, well, I'm an innovator," or "I'm gifted." They always told me when I was a kid, I was gifted. So I was like, "Oh, that's got to be one," But just because like the reading thing, like my mom was a history teacher, and she like that was like the norm for our household reading. Doing your own research. She said She even told me this. She was like, trust what I tell you, but go verify it yourself.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, don't just believe me. Like, don't believe nothing that you hear. Go look for yourself. Like, she didn't say Google it, because if Google wasn't out then, I think it was still called what they call bat rub when they first came out. I don't know. Go bat rub it, or whatever. I forgot what they used to call Google before.
Never heard of back rub.
Never?
No, I've never heard of back rub.
I think it was called bat rub.
Definitely back when the internet was like ding 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 ding, and you can hit it.
Before then, I'm an 80s
baby. But I never heard of back rub.
My mom passed in '93, so it was before the internet. You know, well, the one that we know of. You know, I mean, it's stuff been around forever. But
so speaking of those books, and she's talking to you about, you know, the norm was reading books and go verify it. What are some of your top favorite books that you think that have really truly impacted who you are today?
Number one, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy. That's a book that I read probably like 4 times a year. That was a book that I didn't actually read it until it was like, I want to say about a year after the pandemic started. It was actually the book that me and my lady, actually, was one of the first books that we read together. And that was something that brought us closer together. We were best friends before we were together. And that was a book that literally changed both of our lives for the good. That's like top book right there. My number 2 book would be something it sounds a little scary to some folks, but it's actually a very good book. And that would be Outwitting the Devil. Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill is like it's like Think and Grow Rich, but it's on a whole nother level. And just the title just intrigued me. I'm like, interesting. And you know,
what a person to outwit.
Quite a person to outwit. But I learned a lot of valuable lessons in that book. Learned about drifting and how, you know, the devil just waiting on you to just be like, get on there and scroll. Come on, I've been waiting for you. Come on over here. Check this out. It's viral. Look at it. Yeah. And that was one of my, but that's still one of my favorite books. The third book, I would probably say, I got so many favorites. Dang, I gotta turn around. Hold on, y'all. Let me look. It's between, I would say, Mastery and Principles. Mastery by Robert Greene, and Principle by what's your name, sir? By Ray Dalio. Those 2 books is something that, you know, I would say are very good reads for someone who mastery. I mean, if you want to be a master of your craft, a master of your life, a master of your time, a master of everything that you do, you don't want to be a slave of it. You want to master it. You want stuff to work for you. You want your money to work for you, or you want to work for your money. Those type of books. I like mindset stuff. I got another favorite. It's a book called The Improvement of the Mind. Girl, I gotta say it like that. Girl.
George, Mr. Highlife.
When I
The Improvement of Your Mind.
It's right there. Hold on 1 second. I got to show y'all this one. This book right here, y'all. This one creeping on up. I read this book every day. The Improvement of the Mind. This book was written, I think it was in when was it? Because this is a reprint. They redid it. I think this book was like 1800s. Put it that way. It's in the 1800s when this book was created by Isaac Watts. And this book right here, like I found that book reading Mastery, and the guy in Mastery talk. I think it was I don't know, it wasn't Leonardo da Vinci. It was, I don't know, it was an artist. I forgot which one it was. And he said he had 2 books that changed his life. He didn't say the name of the first book, but then he said The Improvement of the Mind was one of his books that changed his life. When I read that, I immediately went to go look for the book. I couldn't really find it, so I was like, "Oh, that's gonna be that's a good book." And if you see it, you be like, "Why?" Like, you can't barely read it. It's like the words are like super small. They're like kind of blurry because somebody literally like put it on the copy machine and like like it's one of them type of books, but it got so much information in it that like literally like it's an improvement of your mind, how to get better. Like I'm all about getting 1% better every day. I want to go. I want to go to sleep a little bit better than I woke up. You know what I mean? So it was like I'm a fan of books. I studied some Latin books. I got books about money, books about all type of stuff. Stuff that just intrigued me. I actually was on a 3 book a day diet.
What?
Yes,
So
yes.
you would read 3 whole books in one day?
Not the whole book. See, I knew.
Oh, okay. So you would be reading 3 books.
Yeah.
You'll get in some
So
activity or some reading of 3 books in a day. Okay, I like that.
yeah, so I have one of my mentors was Ty Lopez, and so I was in his program, and he talked about 3 books a day. So in the morning time, you want to read like a older book, like something that's a book that done stood the test of time. Like I would say, I have where my expensive book at? It's around here somewhere. Poor Charlie's Almanac. So oh, there you go right there. Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's best friend. Hint. Okay, well, he wrote a book. So that was like a book that I used to read in the morning. Something inspirational. Think and Grow Rich would be a great book. Rich Dad Poor Dad. That's a great book to read in the morning time because it inspires you. It's old knowledge. It's wisdom that's sitting here waiting for somebody to come pick it up. Right. All right. So that's what you do in the morning. In the afternoon, around lunchtime, I don't know. Some people take naps. I take naps every now and then, a 30-minute hell, you know what I'm saying? A little power nap. So before I take my power nap, I read a how-to book. So, like I said, I was studying Latin, and I would read like how Latin for dummies, for example, or something, a how-to book. If you want to learn how to do coding, if you want to learn how to do something, lunchtime, you at the sun is at its highest. You could be at your highest. You know, whatever you learn is gonna come quicker because you already been up for a while and you firing on all cylinders. You're not lagging, kind of, you know, the day almost over, so you're kind of hyped because the day almost over. And yeah, so a how-to book in the afternoon, and then at nighttime before you go to sleep, you read something inspirational, maybe like a autobiography about someone. One book I was reading about Helen Keller, about the one lady that was blind, deaf, and mute. Like if she can do it, if she can figure it out, that's some inspiration that you want to read at night. So that was how I was reading 3 books a day. And I literally, what I would do, I would literally just grab a book. I got a book right here. This is The Greatness Guide by Robin Sharma, black book. And I just open it. If it had a jacket, I read the jacket. If I hadn't picked up the book before, I read the jacket. Then I read because the jacket usually have like what the book is about, the information about the author. So I don't, if he a Nazi, I ain't trying to read no book of Nazi or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't judging or nothing, but I ain't going for that. I don't like how they think. But I'll read that, and then I go off. I let my subconscious mind guide me. So I would go through the table of contents, and if there's something there that just sticks out to me, I'll go to it. And I'm like, let me find. Oh, I just opened the book just now, and the first thing opened up was "Speak Like a Superstar." That's interesting. I'll sit here, I'll read that, and I give it. If it's something that's really interesting, I read for 15 minutes. Book done. I'm done. So what I learned was that when you get a book, once you buy the book, the author already won. So his job is already done. Now, with how I read it is up to me. How I apply the stuff that I learned is up to me. Like he has no more control over that. Like he can't say, "Oh, I gave you my book. You're supposed to be successful. You're supposed to be a millionaire because you read Rich Dad Poor Dad." No, I gotta read it for me. So I read books like they textbooks. Sometimes I just go off a vibe. I like the vibe. So when I hear you say that all the time, come vibe with me. I was like, "Yo, come on, let's go." You know, so I like that, and I like I said, when the universe speaks to me, I just shut up and listen because I know I only know so much. The more I read, the more I know that I don't know it all. So it's like the more you the more you learn, the more you're gonna learn that you don't know it all. So it humbles you, and it tells you like I'm not the judgy type, but if I have a conversation with somebody and I'm like, "Hey, you read?" and they be like, "No," I'd be like, "Oh, okay." Yeah, so all right then.
So if you say, so I guess you don't say if they say they don't read, you don't be like, well, I got the Higher Learning High Life book club.
Yeah. Nah,
You
I
want to
really
get
don't,
into this, man?
because it was
How
like,
do you
if you
get
don't
people?
read, I feel like you're not that humble. I feel like you know it
Ooh,
all. Because I know I don't know it all. So if I know there's some books around here that got some knowledge in it, I can pick them up and I can humble myself enough to say, hey,
if
teach
you
me.
don't read, you're not humble.
Mm,
I
fact,
love that.
fact.
I love that. How has your growth in reading inspired others that are part of your book club community?
Oh man, probably like what I'm super proud of is by starting the book club. We started the book club, High Learning Highlight Book Club, was just to be accountable for me and True, for us to hold each other accountable and make sure we read on a consistent basis, which is like super selfish and super like, me. And it ended up growing to something more. And I knew that was something that was needed. And so we agreed to meet at a certain time every day, Monday through Friday, at 12 o'clock noon every day. We've been doing it for almost 2 years now. And it's the consistency for me. And one thing I'm very proud of, out of the group, we have about 5 people who have written their own books, and one that's about to write their book now. And that's just something like, I don't know if they would have did that if we didn't have a book club and they didn't see it. Like seeing me put one of my book was one of the first books we read in the book club, so that felt good. Just being a space where it's a safe space, where it's one thing to read. It's cool to read by yourself, but when you have to read with someone else and you have to explain what it means to you, it's different. It hit different when you can see somebody else's paradigm and how they think. Like, it hit different. Like, we have so many different people come through, and the way they think, and the way, like, we read the same thing, but they take it a different way. And now, instead of me just seeing my one way thinking, there's no way I can just think one way, because that's why I'm a people person when it comes to like listening to people. Like, I'm a great listener. I'm proud of that. Like, I'm a great listener. If you need somebody to listen, call me. Okay, don't call me. Don't call me. No. No, but if we cool, we call me, man. Just call me, and I'm always open to be a ear, because sometimes people don't even want to hear what you got to say about what they telling you. They just want to release, what they got going on, and that's something that I'm very like I'm on. And I know that I wouldn't be like that if it wasn't for books. If it wasn't for me having a book club. Book club got me speaking more, getting on camera more. Like I said, I wanted to be behind the camera. I didn't want to be in front of the camera. Coming from the lifestyle I came from, you didn't want to be in the front. You didn't want to be with all lights and all eyes on me. You want to be where y'all don't even know that I'm doing this stuff back here, type of deal. You know what I mean? So yeah.
I like that you said you created a book club to hold yourself accountable for reading consistently every single day. You have any idea that your book club was going to inspire people to be authors themselves? Like that right there. I've never even heard someone say, hey, I created a book club and now I've had 5 people become authors and have their own books and, own their story. I think that's amazing, to be able to say, I'm a part of would you say the High Life?
Higher
High,
learning, highlight book club.
High Life book club. Like that's like a badge of honor right there. You know what I'm saying? Like that's beautiful, because you never would have imagined that. But speaking of like impact and influence, that's what the book club. What about with your community impact when it comes to High Life kids? Like, how do you see impacting the next generation and fostering a community focused on health, creativity, abundance? How do you see that transpiring and leading into another area of legacy building for yourself?
So the High Life Kids is something that's still a work in progress, but that's something that I created with my kids. And they always talking about calling me Mr. High Life and High Life this. I'm like, I'm gonna give them some kind of ownership as well. And that was my tactic. Don't tell them, y'all. Do not tell them that I did that. I did it purposely to, put that little seed in there. And now it's grown into something. So kids, KIDZ, stands for Creative Independent Dreamers. So, it was just something that I knew that my daughter, she's very creative. So that's something I knew she would like levitate towards. We actually working on making some characters, and she's going to write a book. And, it's just something where I didn't even know if they were going to take it and go, but it was a seed. There's a seed planted. And I know that, my kids love to read now. Like, they literally, my daughter and my son be fighting over my time. Like, no, I want to read with dad. No, I want to read. I want to read my book with him. Like, they love to read. A 9-year-old saying he love to read. My lady, my stepson, her son, like saying he's 5 years old. He wants to read. Like they want to be a part of the book club. They love the put some respect on your mind. They love it when we say that at the end after every meeting. It's just something that I just wanted to include them some type of way. And sometimes the kids don't want to read, the stuff that we're reading. But like my daughter, we read 7 Habits of the Highly Effective People in the book club. Me and my daughter, we've been reading 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens. So that was something for us to bond with. But we also been reading. I don't really read fiction books, but my daughter's read. We're reading a book called "The Girl That Drank the Moon." It's like, I don't know what the world. I would have never picked that book up and be like, oh yeah, let's read this. But that was something that she was interested in, and she's interested in it because of me. And so for that, I would say, I ended up buying 2 copies. I say, I'm gonna buy a copy for you, I'm gonna buy a copy for me, and that's how we're gonna bond. Like, but when I read this book with you, okay, now you're gonna come over here and read a book with me. But I didn't even have to say that; it just happened organically, and it's just something that it's like a norm here now. And I was having a conversation with my daughter the other day, and I told her that, I'm the dad. I always tell her that I'm like, your dad not gonna be here forever, that. So, and she know that because she lost her mom, she lost her sister, she done lost a couple of loved ones that in her life, and so she knows that. She's very mature for her age, and she understands that dad ain't gonna be here forever. But I told her, I said, but if you're thinking and you just love your dad, you just want to, want to feel like we're in the same place at the same time, on the same type of energy, we on the same vibe, at 12 o'clock noon, Monday through Friday, just get you a book, sit down somewhere, and I'm going to be reading with you. So now that's something that she can hold on from now to forever. You know what I mean? That's a space in her life where she was like, I miss my dad. He's been gone for X amount of years, but hey, I read with him every day, Monday through Friday at 12 o'clock noon. You know what I'm saying? So,
so Mr. High Life, that's a beautiful thing because you created that with your daughter, yeah? But it was your own mom who inspired you to really get into the love of reading and getting into books. Do you ever feel that energy from your mom doing the things that you're doing when it comes to writing the books, having the book club, seeing the success in other people becoming writers, having your kids, her grandchildren? Because I think you told me you lost your mom at a very young age too, correct?
2 years old, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, do you feel that energy? Does that energy propel you? Like, how often do you sit and say, thanks, mom, for kind of doing the things that you're doing? Because it's a beautiful vibe. That's what I got out of just listening to your story and the habits of putting some respect on your mind, and creating it now with your daughter, because now I'm seeing it from your mom to you to your daughter. So it's almost as if it's going generation to generation with the power of reading and finding the humbleness in reading.
You ain't gonna make me cry on here. That's what you ain't gonna do. What you're not gonna do is make me cry. Because it's funny, because when you were talking, so I got this picture of my mom and she's sitting right there, and I was like, she's smirking. So it's like, let me show y'all. I know she's proud of me. Just to look at her face, it's like, I'm proud of you. You feel me? She looking like, yes, you did that, son. You did it. And I never thought I'd be she's a teacher by heart. Like, that was her profession, but that was her heart to be a teacher. In her heart to be a teacher. That was her passion. And I know she would be very proud of me, taking my life from the hustler side to, well, she was a hustler too, not in the form that I was, but she was a hustler too. She had to go get it. A black woman up in the 70s and 80s. My mom went to she went to EWC and she went to FAMU, and she did that while she had a child. And so she had to get it, you know what I mean? And she got it. And she was like, she was a teacher for a long time until, cancer got a hold of her, and she died from brain cancer. And but through that, it just taught me resilience. It just taught me, like, you can get whatever you want. You just gotta it sounds so cliche, just put your mind to it and get whatever you want. You can literally get, it's already there for you. Once you put your mind on it, it's there. You just gotta work backwards. You know what I mean? And I know she would be very proud. When you were saying it, the way you put it, it made me put some respect on my mind. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking like, I think she would be very proud, and she would love that I'm even putting the effort. It ain't, sometimes like my book club, I'm not gonna lie to y'all and say I have hundreds of people on my book club or 50 people. Like I literally have a couple people on there that's consistently on there. But I know that it will build into something, and I know that it was for them people. I know if you're not there, and if you haven't came to it yet, it's not for you yet. But just knowing that I started something that could be bigger. I know my kids gonna take it and they're gonna keep it going. I know maybe their kids gonna keep it going because they're gonna see the value in it. You know what I mean? Like I'm not saying that I've been a reader my whole life, because like I said, I was in the streets. When I was in the streets, I wasn't reading no books. I ain't gonna cap. I was living life, and I was learning by bumping my head and figuring it out. But I was, luckily my mom had instilled so much greatness into me that I didn't get into trouble for a long time. Like I think I got in trouble when first time I got in trouble, I was probably like 27. So, like she passed when I was 12. So I still was scared to get in trouble. Even though I was doing crazy stuff, I never got in trouble because I was very smart, very slick. I used the smartness for the wrong thing, but it worked. But yeah, I feel like she'll be very proud of me, and that I even just have the audacity to even think that I could start something that's going to help somebody and plant that seed where it could change somebody's life, leave a little impact. My kids is on the right path. Everything could be so much worse. Coming from like my daughter, she's coming from losing. First, she lost her uncle, her mom's brother. Then she lost her mom. Then she lost her sister. Like she could have went down a whole nother path than where she's at right now. It could have been like I could have been, she could have been rebelling. She could have said F the world and all that's in it. And I could have been another sad parent, losing another child, suicide, and it could have been anything crazy. And it didn't go that way because it was just I seen like, hey, we're gonna keep your mind sharp. I'm gonna keep you always occupied with thoughts. I'm not gonna let you drift. I'm gonna read some books with you. I'm gonna read some books that I like. I'm gonna read some books that you like. We're gonna bond. We're gonna have a good time. I lost my dad when I was 6, and I lost my mom when I was 12. I was scared that she was gonna lose me when she turned 12. She's 15 now. But that was something that I was struggling with, when I was going through my depression and going through all that the stuff I was going through, losing my daughter. And that was like I gotta break that curse. I could if I focused on that, that would have been my reality. But I didn't focus on that. I said, I'm gonna focus on abundance. I'm gonna focus on she's already great. She's already, intelligent. She's already outgoing, loving, caring, got great qualities. She's a survivor, going through things and coming out on the other side. Like that's because I poured it to myself, and I made sure that I had my mind together so I could, speak life into her and speak good things to her. So yeah, I think my mom would be very proud of what I got going on. And even that something else that we did, we gave out a scholarship, and it's not a nonprofit. I didn't wait till I got a nonprofit and the paperwork, and we gave out our first scholarship last year.
Let's go.
Good. It felt so good. That was not in the plan. And we ended up giving somebody a scholarship. And they were so excited. They've been doing great in school. The grades is amazing because they wanted to, make the book club look good and just make us proud. And they were like, when y'all did that for me, I'm not gonna let you guys down. And they haven't at all. I was like, yeah, you ain't let us down, and you ain't let yourself down. So, I know that wasn't in the plan, but look how God do. He do his thing. My top ain't God top.
I know that's right. That's a beautiful thing. Congratulations on your first scholarship of many to come. And honestly, I wouldn't even say she would be proud of you. I would say she is proud of you because energy never dies. Energy never dies. So I know that you feel that she is proud of you. And
she's smirking right now. She like,
I'm thinking she must be smirking like how you say your daughter used to be smiling all the time too. Yep. So I'm all for it because life's too precious not to smile, right? Yes. And we're talking about your daughter. We're talking about Aaliyah. So give some tips to the girl dads, father figures, role models on how to truly support them, especially when it comes into their menstrual health. So I help those with polycystic ovary syndrome, endometriosis, that's painful periods, heavy bleeding. How do you show up still in those conversations? And she knows that you care about those experiences in order to make sure that she's still okay? What tips do you give to those dads or role models?
I would say make it fun. Like, cause at the end of the day, you know how some people they have with society make you think like some dads be like, oh, I gotta go get your pass, and oh my god, I don't want nobody to see me getting no pass. Man, I go grab them thing. Which one you need? You need the extra? You need that? Which one you need? The pink one, the purple one, the big one, the other? Like, what you need? And make it fun where they feel comfortable. Like, you don't want your kids to, hide their pain from you. You don't want your kids to hide their hurt from you just because they scared how you're gonna like respond to it. Like I'm a girl dad to the fullest. Like, baby girl, I will. What you need? I want your life to be like your dad's love is the first love that a girl ever know. Like that's how every man get after your dad. Every man they got to come with it. You can't just wine and dine me and think you finna get all of me. My dad did that for me and he ain't getting nothing. You know what I'm saying? You got to come harder than that. So I feel like you're the first man that your daughter will ever deal with on that type of level. So it's like setting the bar high, putting them on game. I don't care, y'all. I know it's bro code, bros over, you know how they go. But when it comes to my daughter, I'm telling it all. Men, they just want one thing. I'm telling them, I'm like, this is what they're gonna tell you, what they want you to think that you want. They're gonna tell you what they think you want to hear just to get what they want. I'm gonna tell you it all, baby. I ain't gonna hold no, it's like, but you just have to have that open relationship where they can just feel like they can talk to you about anything. Like, cause it's very sensitive especially when you're dealing with it's something that they don't know what's going on, and you don't know what's going on. I ain't never had no periods, so I don't know. But I done dealt with women that have had periods, and luckily I have my lady that's she's a great support. She helps me with teaching Aaliyah about herself and how to take care of that thing, and just just putting around good people. So it's like a norm. It's like the norm. It ain't like oh my God, she took a period. Oh my God, oh Lord, she having periods now. Oh man, like it sounds like a punishment or something. Like it's gonna hurt you to be open to like your daughter. Like she might tell you, hey, Dad, I don't know what's going on, but it hurts when I poop her. So I don't know. Can't make it feel like, oh my God, why are you even talking about that? I don't want to hear that. I'm eating right now. Like, no, tell me what's going on. Like, I'm that person, I'm that type
How
of
often is it hurting every time you poop? Like I agree wholeheartedly with that. Like if you normalize the conversation, you normalize that I'm here for you regardless of what is happening, then when something serious does happen, you already in the know, and she already can trust you that you're going to do everything you can to help her resolve the issue and get the support that she needs. And so I love that.
If I don't know, we just figure it out together.
Exactly. And at least she knows that she doesn't have to figure it out by herself. And I think that's the beautiful part. And then I also love that you don't just make her go talk to other women about it. Like you're still right a part of that conversation and ready to get the things that she needs. And I think that's beautiful. So the whole purpose of me asking that question is to normalize the conversation, to get more men and male role models and father figures in the conversation of what's really happening to our spouses, our partners, our daughters, our young ones, just so we continue to move this thing forward when things are not normal. So we can catch things at a faster time frame versus things happening later down in life to where now your child can't even have kids and there's this huge fertility issue and your legacy is stopped just because you were too manly to start having conversations at a young age or be a part of it. You could say that. Last question, Mr. Highlife. If you could have a meal with any historical figure, who would that person be and what would you all eat?
If I could have any meal with any historical figure, ooh, I gotta lean back on that one.
I see that lean back.
There's so many great choices. Wow, I never been asked that question. I think one of them gonna be my mama.
Okay.
And I'm trying to think of anybody. I say my mom because to me that's my history.
And that's fine. You can roll with your mom.
And she was I wish I had more time with her to learn more and to get to when I had my time with her. She passed when I was 12, but I want to say the last 2 years, that's when she was really battling the cancer. So she wasn't really her normal, outgoing, super loving self. I was more taking care of her, and so but actually that actually helped me. But I would say I would have dinner with her, or I would, matter of fact, I would have probably would have breakfast with her. You
Okay,
know,
talk to me. Talk to me about this breakfast platter you and your mom gonna have.
the platter would actually be probably be a smoothie. You know, we probably share a smoothie and just talk about life, talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, um, talk about impact, talk about my dreams and hopes and my faith. Um, this is that's a really good question that I think a lot of people should ask themselves. Like, who would you sit down with, and who would you share a meal and what that meal would be? And the reason I said a shape because I know my mom. We used to eat the stuff. Back in the 80s, 90s. Like, I mean, this government, everything. You get what we ate good. We ain't gonna say I was. We was on Section 8 or nothing like that. But we were like we was right in the middle. Um, but I feel like if she saw me doing the healthy thing, she'd be right behind me because we were like we vibed off each other's energy. So that's why I said a smoothie because I knew she'd make a banger smoothie, and it'd be very healthy. And if it wasn't, I throw my thing in there and teach her some things, and I think it'd just be a good conversation to sit down and have a good, and it's good for your energy. So I know that conversation will be a very thought provoking conversation, and it would be something that would be something to be remembered, more than likely to be recorded. But yeah, I think that would be. I don't even know why I even said that, but that was the first thing that popped in my head because I done read a lot of books. I done watched a lot of documentaries and some great, historical figures that I would love to have a conversation with. But knowing that my time was cut short, I would pick my mom because I know it was so much more that she wanted to teach me and share with me. So I think I would just say my mom. Yeah.
I
Shout out to
love
all the mamas out there. Yeah.
I absolutely love that. I hope you realize how precious and valuable your relationship with your mom was. And I hope you see that you have that same type of vibrant relationship with your daughter, and how
Do my
that kind
best.
of flows. Yeah, I mean you're doing it, but it's there, it's evident. Like how she slid right in when we were doing our meeting the last time, and she was just right there by her dad. She was behind the room until
My
I
right
heard her
again. That's my
and
right
asked
again.
them to come right there. And then like to hear how you would say sitting down at a table with your mom and just have that conversation and how she saw what you would do and she would just fall right in line with you. That's the same thing that Aaliyah is doing for you. So I hope you know that you are doing an amazing job of living that high life and creating that abundance, not just for yourself, but also for your daughter,
Appreciate that.
while still vibing on that energy of your mother because energy never dies. All
Mm-hmm.
right, so Mr. High Life, let them know where they can find you and how they can tap into all of your high life vibrations.
You can find me in the streets now. I'm just I don't even know what I say. I'm so random, y'all. So don't pay me no mind. Don't pay me no mind. But I am on Facebook, George Varner Jr. I'm on Instagram, Mr. underscore Highlight Films. I'm on TikTok, Highlight Film, Highlight Book Club. Um, I'm on YouTube. Don't hate me because I'm high. I have the book club, Higher Learning Highlight Book Club. Like I said, we get together every day, Monday through Friday, 12 o'clock noon, faithful. It don't matter if it's a holiday, it's a birthday, a hurricane, earthquake. We're going to still be somewhere. We're going to be on that thing, reading and pouring into each other and having a conversation. Um, what else? Yeah, I'm on all social medias. I'm always talking positivity. If you're looking for something negative, you ain't gonna find that with me on my brand. Like I don't get down like that. I just can't. I come from I'm more of I match energy. So if you doing some crazy stuff, I can do some crazy stuff too. But if you're doing some, and I don't want to be like that, so I just rather just if I get away from that. But I also have a clothing brand, High Life. I got merch on IamHighLife.com. I also have another website, Don't Hate Me Because I'm High.com. I have my filming company, High Life Films and Photography. My website is comejointhehighlife.com. As you can see, the theme is pretty much everything High Life. So if you just Google High Life, a couple other things will pop up, and then I'll be in the mix somewhere. You can find me. I'm out here in these streets. I'm doing more to get out more and put my name and my brand out more. Like you said, I got the book High Life: 8 Keys to Living an Abundant Life. That's available on Amazon. It's available. I have a website as well, highlifestateofmind.com, where you can get the book. I have Dads Matter More, my book that I just wrote. That's available on Amazon, as well as dadsmattermore.com. I stay busy, and I'm just doing my best to leave an impact, man. I want to leave the world a little bit better than it was before I got here.
You're doing a great job at that. You're doing an awesome job at that. Thank you, Mr. Highlife.
Okay, I'm taking. Hey, y'all better hold on to JoJo, because I'm gonna take her with me and take her on the road, y'all. Y'all better.
Thank you, Mr. Highlife, for coming and being an amazing guest on the Empowered Plates, Empowered Lives podcast, walking us through your life journey. But most importantly, reminding people that just start walking. If you don't like the direction that your health is going in, start moving. There's healing in your movement, but also in your mind. So thank you so much for just owning your truth, sharing your story, but most importantly, loving the way you just kind of come and vibrate, the way you vibrate every single day, because you deserve nothing less. So thank you for coming on the podcast. Y'all, if you're looking for a healthy habits and lifestyle coach, the link is in the description. Y'all tap in. Let me know how I can support you on your healing journey. It is your journey. I just want to help empower you along the way to find the things that align with you when it comes to your mindset, your mindful eating, and your movement. I call it my M to the third degree healing empowerment formula. So come vibe with me, y'all. It's your healthy habits and lifestyle coach, George Varner. It's been another amazing episode. We love you. We thank you. But most importantly, thanks for vibing with us, y'all.